splendor, ego, romance, Umu. These are the features that make up the strongest, if not necessarily greatest, Umu of them all. 5-star Saber, Nero Claudius Caesar Augustus Germanicus. Bride. Nero Bride is an excellent single-target boss killer of Lancer and Berserker enemies, in addition to being a phenomenal multi-purpose support, who can blend these two roles together to become a dominant, looping Art Saber. Nero Bride is one of her class's leading boss killers, boasting impressive damage potential. This is primarily through her Art's Noble Phantasm, which post-rank up has a powerful 1200% damage modifier at NP1. With this Noble Phantasm being at the very center of her kit, it is important to take advantage of it. This she can do by using her skills, which also form the basis of her second role, that of a multi-purpose support. Nero Bride has an excellent skill set, composed of 3 highly impressive skills, all of which are individually targetable. They can either be spread across the party to buff multiple servants, or used together to significantly enhance one member of the party. The first is Stars for the Sky rank A, which increases one ally's NP gain by up to 45% for 3 turns. This greatly boosts one ally's ability to access their Noble Phantasm, particularly a servant with good base NP gain, and the ability to form Art's Brave Chains, such as Nero Bride herself. Better still, with the 4th anniversary just around the corner, this already strong skill is set to receive a buff, adding to it a 30% NP battery. Her second skill, Flowers for the Earth rank A, buffs one ally's attack by up to 40% and their critical star drop rate by 50%. This makes one servant in your party far more powerful, while also having the ability to now generate stars, with the attack buff in particular making it ideally suited to using on your primary damage dealer, again a role Nero is very ideal for. Finally, she also helps team survivability through Love of the People rank A, which heals one ally for 3000 health and buffs their defense by 20%. This can either be deployed impromptu as the situation requires, or used to particularly protect a damage dealer that lacks any other form of protection. Using these skills, especially her first 2, in conjunction with one another, has the ability to create an incredibly powerful servant, and there are few better candidates to make use of this lethal combination of greater NP gain and increased damage than Nero Bride herself. By applying her first 2 skills to herself, something done undoubtedly in truly Neroian fashion, Nero Bride creates potential to become a powerful, boss-killing arts looper. With sufficient luck, she can, in some situations, facilitate this entirely by herself, through NP-led Art's Brave Chains featuring critical hits. However, this is only situationally achievable and is often highly RNG reliant, particularly when it comes to stars and command card distribution. Instead, the most reliable, and undoubtedly the best way of making use of Nero Bride as a dominant arts looping saber, is by pairing her with supports that can lend her what she needs. Critical stars for those critical hits, which still feature as an important part of Nero Bride refilling her NP gauge and thus being able to loop. NP battery to fill in any gaps. Further NP gain. And most importantly, arts card effectiveness buffs, tremendously increasing the value of the NP gain buffs and the NP battery gained from her arts cards. This is because different buff types stack multiplicatively in FGO. For more information on this, check out my Paracelsus video linked in the card above. To that end, she works well with supports that provide these tools, such as Tamamo no Mai, Caster Gilgamesh, Paracelsus von Hohenheim, and Hans Christian Andersen among others. With the right supports in place, Nero Bride can loop her Noble Phantasm for multiple turns in a row, doing significant damage each and every time. Better still, against enemy bosses with significant health. This allows her to exploit her NP's powerful overcharge effect. This reduces the affected enemy's defense and critical rate by between 20 and 40% for 5 turns. By looping, Nero can stack these powerful debuffs, simultaneously opening up to even greater damage from her already powerful Noble Phantasm, and at the same time severely reduce their offensive potential against Nero and her allies. Using a mixture of these supports, Nero Bride is one of the most dominant loopers in the entire game. Her powerful arts crits easily refill her gauge. Alternatively, all of this can also be used to help other loop-worthy servants, with Nero instead featured in more of a support role. Such examples include Zeeg. Umu Bride is a top-tier boss killer, who, when placed as the focus of an arts crit offense where she has access to arts effectiveness buffs and critical stars, can easily loop her powerful Noble Phantasm, making her one of the most dominant sabers in Fate's Grand Order. At the same time, she is also a top-tier multi-purpose support. When at her best, few enemies can survive the barrage of her Noble Phantasm, and thus will fall to the Umu Bride. If I had to say one drawback of summoning for her, it's just that there's so many other powerful servants coming. We currently have Arjuna Altar available, while just down the road we have Vengeance Nobunaga, Merlin, and Space Ishtar, as well as the 4th anniversary servant who I'll be making a video on shortly. This is a crowded field, so unless you are a true fan of Umu, it might be a difficult decision to be willing to part with Quartz, especially now. I've been Seeing, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please leave a like, comment and subscribe, and check out some of my other videos, such as 3-star Superstars, where we look at some of the best free-to-play servants in Fate Grand Order, and Shaldia Lowlights, where we look at some of the worst. Thanks again for watching. I've been Seeing, see you soon.